Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Hello, everyone. It's always such a joy to be here with you, and I see a lot of folks have already popped into our chat. Heidi, I am so glad, thinking of you all morning. I'm glad you're doing well, and we will say hello to everyone else as well. So today, this is kind of an extension of our last interview that we had with Preston Dennett and Dolly Safran. So I'm really excited to be able to talk about this subject. We didn't seem to have enough time last time, but we've got plenty of time today. So tonight we're stepping into a subject that doesn't just challenge the world as we see it, but it's more of a challenge in understanding consciousness itself, I would say. And of course, it's about remote viewing, and it suggests that awareness may not be anchored in the body, bound by distance, or limited by time, that perception can occur without coordinates at all. To explore this extraordinary idea, of course, as I said, I'm joined by Preston Dennett and Dolly Safran, whose work delves deeply into how remote viewing actually functions, what part of consciousness is doing the perceiving, and what happens when the mind discovers that it was never confined as we once believed. Remote viewing works by shifting awareness away from thinking about a target and into quietly perceiving information without analysis. Instead of trying to see, the viewer listens for subtle impressions that arise before the intellect interferes. And we all know how our ego does that. This conversation isn't about belief or speculation. It's about experience, structure, and the unsettling possibility that reality is far more accessible and far more mysterious than we've ever been told. With that said, welcome Preston and Dolly.
Hey, how are you, Carolyn?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
Yeah.
You might hear a little bit of dinking in the background. Our back porch is being built. Pay no attention. Behind the curtain. Okay.
Yeah, the man behind the curtain. Yeah. I think we're all used to different noises, dogs barking, cats meowing, so it's all good, right?
Yes.
So last time we kind of left off talking about remote viewing, and we really wanted to delve into the topic and maybe even do a little experiment of our own today. But let's say hello to some folks, and you guys, Dolly, Preston, dive right in, say hello to your people. Go right ahead. You can show the comments, whatever you need to do. I always like to make sure we say hello to folks.
I do see some familiar names. Here's Michael Kennedy. Hi, Michael. Hope you're doing
Michael.
well. Me. Scarlet Fire.
Hi, Scarlet.
Love you.
Yep.
Heidi Gold. Feeling good. I am
Love you, Heidi. With you all the way.
Glad.
There's definitely some familiar names here. Brilliant Design. I see Christopher Harmon.
Hello.
And Katie.
Who's Greg from Scotland? Is he one of your guys?
I don't know. He might be. You'll have to let me know, Greg.
Welcome.
Yeah, I always love seeing the familiar names and the new ones.
Yes, absolutely.
It's very, very cool.
Yep.
I love that people.
Michelle, hello, dear friend.
Hi.
Hello to you. And we'll continue to say hello. Hello, Becky. Always a pleasure to see everybody in the chat. So, where do you guys want to start? Do you want to do like a working definition?
Yeah, I want to start with that. Actually, I want to give you a syllabus, so to speak, of what remote viewing actually is, how it operates.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Remote viewing, we have consciousness. We are I'm not talking about your brain consciousness. Your brain is aware. Your brain has sentience. Your physical mind is a computer that is aware of its environment. It sees and hears things. It remembers things. It's a little computer that takes it all in through your eyes and all your other senses and keeps a memory of it within the physical mind. Okay? That's awareness. Consciousness is that which you are out and within the body. Your consciousness drives your body. Consciousness indwells your body. Your consciousness comes from source. We're all together all at one time in source. It's outside of every dimension. It's extra dimensional. There is no space time. Your consciousness lives and exists. It is only your awareness right now, because you're indwelling this body, that keeps you aware of what your consciousness is all about and doing. As you learn to explore your psychic abilities, remote viewing is one of the first things that they try to take you to once they realize that you have learned your that you understand what your telepathy is, that you understand what your psychic ability might be leading you toward, where your strengths are. Strengths are built through usage, and remote viewing, because that's the one that immediately ties you to your consciousness. Your awareness has to be in tune or connected to your consciousness for that to operate properly. And it's really easy, which is so amazing to me. I started doing it without even realizing I was doing it as a small child. Preston learned it when he was older from somebody who gave him a really good roadmap how to get to it. And he's really good at explaining the technicalities of it. What I'm going to start with right now is helping you understand how it operates. And then we'll work together to walk you through it. Okay?
That sounds brilliant. Hello, Joyce, and thank you. I'm glad you're looking forward. And we've got Nick, who said he's got some experience with this. So we've got some very interested people.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the ways for your awareness to come in contact fully, in sync with your consciousness, to hear your own self thinking outside of this, okay, is to learn to shut down overthinking consciousness. Your psychic ability depends on your ability to be quiet and perceive everything going on around you psychically. And remote viewing teaches you to contact that very, very quickly. Your consciousness lives in an eternal state of all things, all the time, all at once. It doesn't have a past, a present, or a future. It's living all of those all at the same time. Your consciousness knows who you are, what you are, where you are, and why you are at all times. It remembers every life you've ever lived, and it understands that you have lives to live in the future. Okay? It understands that it's in source. Your consciousness is your pilot to your body and mind's co-pilot. Okay? So one of the things that you have to practice at first is meditation. You go deep within, and you can meditate for remote viewing very quickly. You don't have to lie down and get your whole body relaxed. You're going to bypass that for a time, all right? But you have to be lucid, and you have to understand that this part of your mind has to shut up. So you're going to go into a state of meditation or self-hypnotic meditation, okay? And hypnotic is a very important word, because what all hypnosis is that you're calming your mind down and you're giving your mind over to somebody who's going to walk you through it. Well, you're not going to have another person walk you through it. You're going to let your consciousness walk you through it. That's what you're letting take over and keep you safe, okay? Consciousness is your hypnotist. You're going to make the enjoyment. So you relax, you deep breathe for 5 minutes. You do the deep breathing exercises, and they're real easy. You just take a deep breath in, let it out. Take a deep breath in, let it out, and you do that for 5 minutes while you go quiet, silent in your mind. And during that amount of time, you invite or you link to your consciousness, who you truly are. You tell yourself only one thing: I am, and I will enjoin with myself. That's all you're going to do. I will become me, totally me. That's you hypnotically suggesting to yourself that you now become totally with your consciousness. It's a self-hypnotic state, all right? Professional remote viewers have to learn this. They don't talk about it openly, but it's true. They have to learn how to reach that state of open contact with their own consciousness. And it is a hypnotic state, and it's you taking yourself to consciousness, to who you really are. All right. Once you get in a comfortable position in you're within your consciousness, you the first like 3 or 4 days while you're practicing how to do this, you're not just going to go remote view out right away. We're going to try it tonight to see who's going to jump into it and let you see that it is possible. You'll see something, but to totally receive the ability fully, you have to practice at it a little bit while you're doing it. And you have to be able to prove to yourself that it's actually happening. That's the second thing. The person's in the room with you and they are witnessing and able to confirm with you that you're experiencing these things. You're only depending on your consciousness to do that, and you need an outside observer to help prove that you've gone to what some people like to call target. I just mean a place, a pre-planned place that somebody either has envisioned where they're looking at it, or a place that they know of and they can visualize it to send you that message psychically. Because the 3 things that are happening once you get into that state of mind is your psychic ability is now wide open. You just opened the door, your third eye is operating on full, and you can hear psychically the message coming at you of what it is you're supposed to see. There's that connection, okay? You're being guided when you're first learning how to do it. So you're self-hypnosing to it, but you have an outside in source. Right today, we're all going to be that outside in source when we get to that part of it. Okay. All right. All right. So that's the beginning of it. Now, Preston knows the steps or he knows some of them. He knows the steps to go out of body, but strangely, out of body works with remote viewing as well. Because what it takes you to get to the vibratory state is the same state that you're going to be in when you remote view. Because you're allowing yourself to connect up with your consciousness and you're lucid while you're doing it. Okay. And awake and aware.
Yeah,
okay.
I think Dolly described it really well. Just one thing that I would underline is that this is not anything that is out of anyone's reach. This is a natural human ability. I don't think we can emphasize that enough. This is a very simple skill. It comes naturally to people. We should all be doing it. And again, it is really a matter of just paying attention to the inner world as opposed to the outer world. We have all of these psychic senses. We are immortal beings. And that's the whole principle of this, is because our consciousness is inextricably connected to source. Right. Which is what gives us this ability to do it. It's nothing magical. I don't know how to emphasize that strongly enough. But I will say that this is one of the easier psychic skills to learn, as opposed to something like telekinesis, moving objects and stuff. Yeah. This, when you go out of body, all of these so-called supernatural abilities, and I hate that term again, are in full force. You can do telekinesis very easily when you're out of body. You can teleport. You can levitate. You can walk through walls. All of this stuff. And remote viewing is super simple because all you have to do is look. You just think of a place and you can see it very far away. So just remember that, this is not hard to do. And it is all about really just relaxing that stream of consciousness that is overlaying your perception.
How do we differentiate between, and I'm sure you'll get into this, but how do we differentiate between like say you're trying to do a session and you're getting all this imagery. How do we know that that's not just the imagination? How do you differentiate?
Okay. All right. That's why you need to have the ability to confirm what you're looking at. And you do it over and over and over again, confirming every time. Now, I'll tell you there's a difference, and we're going to draw a line here, between imagination and reality, okay? When you're in this state of mind, reality is all you're going to perceive because you're shutting down this part of your brain that's capable of imagining things. You're not involved in this. We're taking a back seat to who we are. Okay. We're giving over to self, to consciousness. Our awareness is going to be only aware of what our body's doing and performing, and that's it. Our awareness is only going to be limited to staying within, so that your consciousness is without. Okay. You know the old saying, you have to go within to go without? That means you shut your mind down, you're within your own mind, and you allow your consciousness out. Okay. That's why that works that way. Now, when you say, I'm going to go someplace, we all have memories of things that we've seen. You know what a dog looks like. You know what a bird looks like. You know what the ocean looks like. You know what a tree looks like. Okay. When you're remote viewing, the first things that you should attempt to remote view are simple things like a child. Like when you get a child reader, you're not reading like an adult. You're reading like a child who's learning new words and learning to see colors and what they are and shapes and pictures, right? Mm-hmm. So you stick to the simple. You do shapes and colors first, all right? And you have somebody on the other side who's going to either imagine the shape in their mind and see it for themselves, because they're a really good sender. Okay, and Preston and I both, and you probably are too, a good sender, all right? And then the people who are going to remote view with us are going to pick up what we're sending them. We become target to them. They're going to target what we're sending, and they're going to see it for themselves. And they're going to receive the information. Their consciousness will see it, okay? And they write it down. You do that by being very quiet. You're allowing the image to come to you, all right? And as you open your third eye and you're quiet, you see that blank chalkboard, and then suddenly you will see an image come up in your mind, and you let it develop. It's like film doesn't develop all in one shot. It takes a minute, right? Well, psychic ability coming into your physical mind is the same way. It's a developer, and it has to develop that picture in your mind's eye of that psychic image that's coming at you. So you're not imagining it, because we already know the answer today of what you're going to be seeing. Okay. That's how we confirm it. If you're on your own, you get a friend, or you go someplace that you know that you've been to a million times, you know what it is, and you remote view to it that day at that time, and you write it down what you're doing. You write down everything you see at that moment in time, and then you go to it quickly and you look. Like if you see a garbage on the ground, or a pail that was, that's not naturally there all the time, or something moved, or a restaurant's furniture is a little bit differently displayed today, and you know those things, you know that you're seeing it correctly in real time. Okay. There's many, 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 many levels. We're starting at the very beginning with this, because remote viewing is taught over time. You can't just boom, do it. A lot of people explain it that way. I feel harassed in my mind when I hear that, because it's not true. Most remote viewers spend a lot of time learning this technique, and it takes a while to become good at it. And they have to be confirmed remote viewers.
Yeah. So some people will have a much steeper learning curve than others, because I think throughout our lifetimes, we do work on these abilities, and they go through our lifetimes as we advance. But yeah, imagination, please don't discount it. Really, the best way, I think, ultimately is going to be to start testing your results. And then you'll realize, well, this was imagination and this was not. So there's a little bit of a hit and miss in the beginning. But imagination is part of the process to an extent, because you don't want
you have to learn how to put it down. That's the problem. You have to learn what
you have to be able to visualize, is what I'm trying to say.
Don't let your mind see. This is a funny thing. I want to explain what imagination is. I can imagine a ball, right? I know what a ball is. I know it's round. I can imagine a red ball. I can imagine an orange ball. I can imagine a ball with a star on it or a face. Okay. I can do those things. I'm capable of it. But in reality, that is imagination, correct? Remote viewing has nothing to do with imagination. It has to do with sentient, in the moment, right now, reality, difference. Okay. And when you remote view, you have to let your imagination walk away. Yes, in the back of your mind, you know what shapes and objects are, but that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for a signal to come into you and show you what it is. You're not paying attention to what your imagination is doing. You're paying attention to a psychic signal hit from consciousness to your brain. Your third eye will tell your brain what it is. So no imagination. Now, yes, a lot of people have really good imaginations and they may try to do that. It's like being lucid. That's why I use that word. It's like when you're OBE, not everybody's lucid, and you have to tell yourself, all illusion, stop. Okay. Because your brain's going, ning, 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 I wanted this, no. With remote viewing, you have to shut that part of it off. That's why you go into a hypnotic state with yourself, to not allow that to happen. You only allow reality in the moment, right now. What's real, what's happening right now. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why you want to do testing.
Yes.
So you can say, well, this one didn't work. I'm probably imagining this. Don't worry too much about it. This is something you can do easily. Just relax into it and keep practicing, because like anything, like learning how to play a musical instrument, or
takes practice.
It takes a little practice. You're going to start, learning the chords and so forth. It's very much a similar process.
Yeah.
Some of my
let me ask you, Preston, what I could see the benefits for the government or even corporations to want to use remote viewing. Where are the benefits for everyday folks like us in using remote viewing?
Driving down the highway and you're perhaps over the speed limit and you're looking around the corner, remote viewing, and there's a police officer. This is something that will happen to you naturally, because anything that concerns you or could cause trouble or maybe even interest, something you are drawn towards, you will automatically start to be attracted to that. It's got multiple values.
Yeah, but what's the difference coming around the corner? What's the difference between that and just intuition? Because that'll happen to me a lot, where I get, these flashes of images.
It's exactly the same process. That is. Intuition is your mind connected to your consciousness. Your consciousness is telling you all the time, this, and you're hearing it. Your consciousness, that's what deja vu is. Your consciousness is already prepping you for reality. Okay, this is coming at you. This is going to happen. It's not mumbo jumbo. It's not shamanistic. It's you doing you. Okay, and wherever you're at and whatever your consciousness, because it sees everything about you everywhere you are at all times. Your consciousness can remote out of you at all times, and it tries to. Trust me. That's why you get the intuition. That's why this happens to you, because it's constantly operating on that level already. It's proof you're already psychic. Okay, that's what I'm trying to teach people, is that this isn't something you have to be given. It's not a present. It's not in exchange for something. You already have it. It's already operating. You are 100% operating on this level already. You just have to let it happen. You have to employ it. This is an employable ability. Like I can employ learning how to carry a bucket. You can employ learning how to use your abilities. Okay.
So this is like really fine tuning your intuition and letting it work for you, like on command, more or less.
It's a natural ability that its presence will be known to you 24/7. I'll give you an example. A medium generally walks in a state of total consciousness all the time. They have stuff with them. They want to use the word empathy, but what it is that you're already out there. Your consciousness is already feeling everything and doing everything.
Right.
And you're swimming through the pool of everything all at once all the time. Okay. We block it. We deny it. We do stuff like that. Most people go, no, don't want to believe it, or their religion shuts them down and tells them a demon thing. No, this is natural to humanity. It's called being wide open psychic. That's what you're wanting to aim for, because when you do that, you hear the truth about everything. You're incapable. You lose the ability to lie, because your consciousness is in control of you at that point. Okay. Your mind can't err because your consciousness is working it. The connection between you and your physical mind should be wide open all the time. ETs are like that. They're wide open psychic. They're in consensus with each other 24/7. They're very, 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 very advanced. We should be there. We should be following that. That's what they want us to do. So this is a good exercise in following that.
Yeah, one really good exercise to learn remote viewing is when you get your mail out of your mailbox. peer inside without actually opening it. I used to do this all the time, and it's so much fun when you, gosh, I'm seeing a lime green color. And I'm not trying to interpret what it is. I'm just trying to get the shapes and sizes and colors. And you're attached to it. So that gives you a little bit of an advantage.
Oh, I like that.
Looking at something random that you have no connection to. And you can open it and you're like, oh, okay, I was right, I was wrong. You can do this with a book, and say, okay, I'm going to open this. What am I going to see? And there's all kinds of little things. You can practice this all day long.
Birthdays, Christmas.
If you're in an area you're not familiar with and you're walking around the corner, like try to imagine what's going to come around the corner. Not imagine, but perceive, I guess would be the better.
Perceive, right.
And just allow it to come to you. Don't force it. Just open. It's kind of like opening your eyes. It really is.
It's opening the third eye. Your psychic.
We're told that perception comes from the brain. The way we perceive the world. So
awareness comes from the brain. Yeah, awareness. Your consciousness, who you really are, plays a huge role in how you operate. Okay, morality is sitting in there. Okay. Understanding right from wrong is sitting upon your consciousness. That's where your consciousness ordering this body around. Most people double think before they do something stupid because they've got consciousness going, do you really want to do that? Your brain is aware. It makes no decisions except stupid ones if you plow through without using your own consciousness as your guide, because it's the one that's operating you, whatever. Your brain remembers how to talk to other brains. Your brain remembers how to sing. Your brain remembers how to eat. Your brain remembers how to do other physical things on this.
It's kind of like the hardware in a computer, and your consciousness is the software.
Yeah,
in a rough way of thinking of
the operating software. The programmer, and you need to start really imagining or understanding to your physical mind, telling your physical mind over and over, I'm not on my own here. I have help. I have a programmer, and I need to be in contact with that programmer at all times. And that means I have to be quiet and let the program in. Okay. I need to let the programmer in. That's another cute way of looking at it, if you want to put it that way. It's all very simple. You just have to allow it. You can't allow anything to disturb you. You can't allow any preconceived ideas to stop you. You cannot let preconceived emotional rifts get you, like fear or religion. Okay. You have to drop everything, and that means ego. Okay. Your consciousness has no ego, and it can't deal with yours. Your physical mind is what develops ego, not you, who you really are. And you need to let the physical mind's ego, I want to be in control. I want to be in control. No, you're not.
Yeah. Who's really good at this? Mothers with their children.
Oh,
They have this attachment, and they can kind of just tell when something is going on because they're so connected. They remote view to their children, particularly when they're in danger or you have to watch them. They can't be right next to them.
Yeah, I still do that with my adult children. So it never leaves you.
Oh, yeah, never. No.
You know that.
And I don't want to leave out fathers either. Let's just say parents.
Yeah.
The mother-child connection is particularly strong.
Yeah, that's got that weird thing going on, too. I will admit that freely. My daughter's father has an unbelievable knack for that, It's amazing. And I salute it. I really salute it. That means that they made the connection during pregnancy and beyond and after that, It's a good thing. It's a really good thing. I'm looking for a pen. I thought I had one with me. Ratnik. Okay.
Are there any concerns? Because I've watched so many stories about folks remote viewing and possible scenarios that can take place. One, for instance, was someone was remote viewing into a classified area, and the enemy or the opposition tapped into them at that time and kind of interjected themselves into the other person's consciousness and knew who they were. And then that person was afraid for their life. Not that we're going to experience something as dramatic, but do we need to be concerned about anything while we're in the state of remote viewing?
Well, to some extent, you want to be ethical with this.
Yeah.
Because if you're using this for nefarious purposes, it's not going to go well for you.
Yeah.
This, psychic abilities are something that manifest naturally along the pathway towards wisdom and truth and spiritual enlightenment. And part of that is absolutely doing the right thing. Buddha talked about this, the right path. And so if you're going into areas where you shouldn't be poking around or invading someone's privacy, no, that's not what this is about. You shouldn't be doing that. It's disrespectful and it's unethical.
Right.
So no one's has the ability to destroy your consciousness. No one has the ability to possess you. None of that.
No, they can't walk in on you and take you. There's no such thing as soul taking. The government can't own you. They can't take any part of who you are, your consciousness, none of it. You are one of the most powerful beings there is. We all are. All right. And we all reside in source together anyway. And from that point, trust me, no messing with the babies. Okay. We are all babies to the universe and we belong to it. And it doesn't own us. It's our everything. It's our original progenitor. And we're all in there together and nothing can harm you. Nothing. Nobody can take control of you. Nothing. That's why ego in the mind is such a pithy little thing, because most people don't understand that if you develop a strong ego mentally, physically in the mind, you're cutting yourself off from reality. And this is what I mean by, and I don't want people to go, oh, we live in the matrix. No, you don't. You live in a 3D construct of unbelievable reality here, physical, that your physical body's dealing with, but your physical body's ego can march across the actual reality of what you're really perceiving in the universe. And you're here for reasons to learn to develop it together, not separately,
It's interesting. What happens to me a lot and for most of my life is before someone calls me, I know like 30 seconds before. So all of a sudden I'll get a picture of that person and then bam, the phone rings. Is that remote viewing or is that just intuition or is it the same?
That's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's another wonderful opportunity. Anytime the phone rings, think about it. Allow yourself to just let your mind go there.
Right. I know who it is.
If you lose an object in the house, this is another wonderful object. Like, where are my car keys?
Yeah, remote viewing.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah. That's called psychometry, by the way. That's a psychometry. They've given words to different types of abilities and stuff like that, but it's all still remote viewing. Okay. Psychometry is remote viewing, literally.
That's when you hold an object in your hands and you allow the images from where that object has been.
Right. To show you what's going on. That's right.
Yeah.
It's another type of
transcend time and space in really remarkable ways, because time here in the third dimension is different than it is when you're out of body. And the higher you go into these dimensions to all the way to source, of course, time is completely different thing. It's all the present.
Irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could take this each. What's the most profound remote viewing experience that you can recall that has happened to you that made you go like, whoa, that was spot on?
Me or
you go first. You go first.
I mean, I've played around with it. There's been 4 or 5 incidents, so I'm like, okay, this is very cool. And the first time was the very first time I even tried it. And I was with my brother Mark and his wife Christy, the artist for my books, and their kids, and we're just playing around with it because we heard about it. And every single one of us did it effectively.
Wow.
My target, I didn't know it, was the moon. And I'm trying to picture what I'm like, just seeing this desolate landscape. Like, it looks like a desert, but it's black and gray, and that's all. I'm like, they started laughing. It's the moon. I'm like, oh my God. That was a good one. Another time I was experimenting with a guy, I think in Australia or something, and we both just set up targets, and I just kept seeing a lemon. I'm like, no, maybe that's an orange. Maybe it's a lemon. I was just going back and forth. I'm like, because I find it a little bit difficult to think, is this my imagination?
Right, exactly.
So, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to go with it, because this is what I'm seeing. So that was cool. And of course it was an orange.
Yeah.
And more recently, I do this really well when I wake up in the morning, early after sleeping, and I'm very relaxed, and my abilities to visualize are very good because there's not all these distractions. And I can just close my eyes and put myself outside of the house. And I was doing that, and it was so funny because I got a very clear picture of the house, outside the house. And it's at ground level, and it's like having a camera out of control. I'm like, it's bouncing around. I'm looking up, I'm looking down. I could control it, but I didn't have really good control. And everything was slightly distorted. It takes sometimes for these images to come into focus. But that time I saw it so well. I'm like, wow, I'm like a foot above the ground. And I was just kind of walking around the house, and it was the coolest thing. So,
I bet.
Those are some of the incidents. I had, may I? One other really good one? I think I may have told this before, but it was so interesting to me because this is how sometimes this will manifest in times of need, right? You could be driving down the freeway and there's a car accident ahead of you or something like that. I've had that sort of thing, but I was going to the bank to get some money back when we all had to use cash. And I was going to the ATM, and I kept seeing this image of this gangster looking guy with only a vest, bare chested, long hair, and he was whipping it around. It was an odd image. And I kind of just shoved it out of my mind thinking, I'm going a little crazy here. I don't know why I'm thinking that. But it got stronger and stronger. And mind you, this is about a mile away from the bank. And as I'm getting very close to the bank, I am now having a little trouble driving because this is what I'm seeing. I'm like, gosh, this is something important. And I could see that it was at the bank. But right before I was driving, I came around the corner. He's going to be there. I know he's going to be there. And sure enough, he was. Standing right next to the ATM, by the way. And the message to me was very clearly, no, do not go to that ATM.
Oh, wow.
This guy is trouble.
Yeah.
So I didn't. But that was that one I didn't ask for. I wasn't looking for it, but it came to me.
No, it didn't. Well, you were. It was your consciousness talking to you and telling you it already saw it. And it was like, no, Preston, we're not doing that today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My ability to remote view has got many layers to it. Okay. And a lot of the ones that I've had here among humanity are traumatic for me. Okay. So I don't talk about them. I don't like to talk to them. You don't want to see me start blubbering on the console. But there was one here. There's two remote. One is with ET and one is here. That we did CE5s in Georgia CE5, and they were having a meeting. When we weren't at Deer Lake, we were at somebody's house and we go outside and stuff. But I was in Florida then and couldn't make that meeting, and I would remote view it, and they all knew that I could do that, and it became a game with everybody saying, "What'd you see? What'd you see?" And so this one, they really wanted to put me to the test. And so when I got there, I saw specific things. They were already outside in the backyard, and they already had a bonfire going. One of the lead guys was sitting on the ground doing things, and I saw that. And then I saw things in the house that most people can't see, because when I remote view, I see everything going on energetically around me at all times. Okay. And I met a couple of dudes that were not from here. Okay. And they were watching one of our people, and I went, okay, this makes sense for this guy. I know that. And then I get this phone call while I'm remote viewing, and it's the guy who was sitting on the ground. He said, Dolly, what did you see first? And I said, well, you were sitting on the ground outside, and you had one knee over the other, and you lean up on your elbow. And he said, where were you looking at me from? I said, up high. I was probably near the tree. He said, I think we saw you. And I went, what? And he said, I think we saw you. And he said, are you still in remote view? And I said, yeah, I can talk to you while I'm remote viewing. All right. And I said, yeah. And he said, will you go to where the living room is? And I said, sure. And when I got in there, I'd never been in this house in my life. And I said, there's a fireplace. I'm going to go stand in front of the fireplace and look back at you. He was in there. I saw him. He was facing me. I saw him with a camera in his hand. And the next thing I know, he takes a picture. And I said, I just saw a flash. And he said, yeah, I just took your picture.
Wow.
Can you see me? He said, well, I see something. And I'm like, okay. And he said, will you go around the room? And I did. I circled the whole room, and they're all flashbulbing me by now with their cameras. And at the end of that, they said, we're going to start sending you stuff on, message. Look at what we got. And it was a confirmation for me, because I've been told this before by ET, but now I knew for a fact that when I remote view, you can see me as a blue orb.
Oh.
Okay. and they saw the blue orb outside. They saw the blue orb in front of the fireplace. They got me going around the room, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is totally cool." All right, so that was my most amazing remote view, because I had absolute proof, multiple witnesses, photographic confirmation, the whole thing. I was on high about that for a long time. The best day of my life, though, the first best day of my entire existence with ET, is that I was learning to fly, and I had to learn to put my consciousness into the palm of my hand and actually see it with my physical eyes and my third eye at the same time. And it was a lesson that I had to learn how to do. And it took me at least 100 tries, 100, okay, easily 100. I was becoming frustrated. And then one day, boop, there I was. I could see myself in the palm of my hand. And of course, I saw a blue orb. I come out as blue for some, I don't know. Maybe my aura is that color, I don't know. And when they realized I had done it, there was unbelievable calamity going on around me and everybody's heads. They were like cheering, "Oh my God, she did it!" Oh, and I was like, "Whoa, cool, yay, woo!" You know. And afterwards, they sat me down and they said, "You can fly now. You get to fly for real. You don't need a tool. You get to fly." And I was like, "Well, I understand what you're saying to me." And then it hit me. Oh my God, I get to fly. You know, it's like the best day of my entire life. So those are my two biggies right there.
And you're talking about flying the craft.
Yes. Yeah, I have to be able to remote view into a place with the craft's consciousness. We join together as one. So we become the craft together. And so I see everything through his eyes and everything. I don't use my physical body at all.
So when you're flying these craft, Dolly, are you remoting flying them, or so you're not physically walking into a craft and flying it?
No, I'm physically in it, but my consciousness, you know, I've got the sensor in my hand, right? It's an implant sensor, and it ignites an dodecahedron to expand, and it fills with an electromagnetic energy field. Okay. So like the field that's around the craft, only this one is personal. And I remote into that field consciously while I'm sitting in my seat. And the craft remotes his consciousness into that field, and we make the connection. I become craft with him. I can feel the craft breathe. I can feel the craft move. It moves on my command as well. I can see through it. I hear everything that's going on everywhere, 360 degrees, all around me, all at one time. Globally, I know what's happening to me and everything. And I am able to remote view at this point because I've been given coordinates, all right, to go to a place. When we light gate, when we go out, we create the light gate. We go into the light gate and we go to the coordinates, and it's all light energy technology. That's what's driving the governments here crazy, because they're looking for people who have that ability. I have that ability, but I won't use it for them. No.
The governments take this very seriously. They poured an enormous amount of research into it. They do use it. It's very effective.
That's why they want remote viewers, honestly.
I'd also ask anyone who's listening to this to be very discerning on some of these people out there who are claiming this ability, because they're putting forth information that is, I don't find credible.
No.
I really don't.
No, there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation out there. I hear it all the time. It's and you can't. What's the perplexing part of this situation is I can't answer it every time I hear it. Okay, I would be yelling at everybody all day long for weeks, you know, and that's no way to do this, because you all have to discover this stuff for yourselves. You know, all I can do is point you in a direction and give you instructions on how to figure it out, and then let you do it. You know, it's personal. It's personal to everybody. Nobody should ever believe anything I can say or do without promising to do it for themselves first. You know, that's why this is important. You teach your children how to walk. You teach your children how to talk. You teach them how to eat and be a person and go out in the world and take care of themselves. You can teach ability as well. But with that comes grave responsibility. And this is where a teacher's responsibility is paramount. Unless a teacher has only the most moral of attitudes and loss of ego to teach the truth, is important, because there are people who swear they're teaching to you, but they have no morals. Their ego's talking all day long, and for whatever reason they're doing it, and boop, 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 you're getting lied to. I hear people say, I try to do it this way, they tell me to do this, and nothing happens. Of course it's not happening.
The stuff I've heard about people remote viewing Mars, or even more recently, the Atlas comet.
Yeah, I heard a lot of that.
If I hear about that comet,
no.
It's a bloody comet, okay? It's a planetary comet. It's weird and unusual. Yes, it is, because it's not your typical comet, all right? But by golly, it's a comet. And that's all it is. There's no alien, nothing on it, nothing.
If you're going to remote viewing, start until you're really sure you're quite good at it with stuff that you can absolutely 100% verify.
Yeah. Now I'm going to give you all a warning, because Preston just opened the door to it. When you open yourself and hypnotize yourself, you open your mind to be influenced. The only influence coming at you should be your consciousness and nothing and nobody else, period. That's where we all get in trouble. Because if you open yourself up and anything can get you without you knowing who you are, you're in deep doo-doo. Do not do it. Because remote viewers who are taught by the government, I'm going to be bloody stinking honest about this. They are hypnotized into taking commands from these people, and they do things that are off the charts, and it's not okay. All right? Because they're not commanding their own consciousness. Somebody else is. Don't let that happen to you ever. You are in control of you. It is you, not the ego of your physical mind, but your consciousness is who you are. And it knows the truth, and it knows when somebody's gaslighting you and telling you a lie.
Yeah, that's true. I know the few times I tried to remote view, and it was on like YouTube, they were doing testing and stuff like that. Every time I started to see something, my ego brain would go, that's your imagination. And it would like fight me along the way. It would just keep poking me and saying, that's just your imagination. And then that would like discourage me. And I'd go, oh God, it's just my imagination. How do we fight that from happening?
You don't fight it. You tell it no. You got a kid who's out of control, right? This is the out of control kid we're talking about in your head. And as a good parent, you do not let this kid be out of control or sway you or make you go, it's all right, baby, I'll do it your way. We'll let you.
Right.
No. Pure and simple. It's not hard. No. That's not fighting it. You're telling yourself, no. Easy cheese balls. You do not allow your physical mind to take control. Consciousness is in control. You know the right thing. You can't be gaslit. You're completely aware at this point. And when this starts, you go, dude, shh, no. And mean it. It's not.
I like that. Yeah. Okay? I like that.
All right.
That's a good one, Dolly.
A lot of people are going, oh my God, I've never told my kid no. Yeah, it's evident. I can tell you I understand that, truly. Learn to tell yourself no first. Then you can tell somebody else you're taking care of. No, this is not good for you. No.
Anybody that takes, a Psych 101 class in college, you learn about the subconscious mind. And they always show you like this, the analogy would be, or metaphor would be, there's this big iceberg. And there's this whole huge top of it, but underneath it's massive. And that's what the subconscious mind is.
And that's a total lie. Every word you just said is their lie to control you.
Yeah.
You don't have a subconscious mind. Your mind is aware. It can see, hear, feel, think, everything. Your physical mind is a computer and it's on. You see AI working. It's not conscious, but it's aware. Okay.
Right.
All right. There is no subconscious mind. You're aware and you're conscious. Consciousness is 24/7, 365, never sleeps, never eats, doesn't do any of that stuff. It's always on all the time. It's like Denny's. We're always open. Okay. Your physical mind has to sleep. It has to refuel. It has to do backups, system backups. You understand that, right? You don't run your computer all the time without backing it up or without cleaning it up or without, adding stuff in that needs to be done.
Yep.
Processing it, right? Your physical mind has to go through that process. Same thing. That's how come they do computers the way they do, because they had this as example A. But your true consciousness is this. No subconscious.
Mainstream science knows this because they, not recently. A long time ago, they realized that people are conscious during their sleep. All their brain is still active. Those, little things you put.
Yeah.
I can never remember what they are.
Yeah.
This is what we've been taught in schools. Conscious thinking, 5%. And that falls under short-term memory, logical thinking, willpower, decisions, analysis.
This is the biggest crock of, what I've ever heard in my entire life.
Values, identity, intuition.
Wrong. Wrong.
Unconscious thinking.
Disinformation to prove to themselves that they can control.
It says unconscious thinking, 95% of our brain, our thoughts. And look at that. Intuition, creativity, emotion, self-worth, imagination, all the things we're talking about today basically fall under what science calls the unconscious thinking.
It would be more accurate to call it the super conscious and the subconscious.
Yeah.
It's actually just consciousness. And we do have a tendency to compartmentalize and deny and fall into delusion and fracture.
Well, this helps that happen. If you want to build a delusional computer, you're looking at the schematic for it right now. Okay. I'm telling you, think like a programmer. One of the greatest things I ever did was learn programming from ET and learn it here. I went to DeVry, people. Okay. I learned how we think, how our mind operates, because I learned to program. I learned that language tells us everything, how to operate. The first thing about our mind is it's habitual. It is a genetic component of our hardware. All computers are habitual. They only know what to do, and they will do it over and over and over again until you tell it not to. Okay? You're in control of your mind, your own hardware. And if I hear one more person tell me they're an addict and they can't get out of it, I just look at them and I think, you're not programming yourself right. What the heck's wrong with you? And they say, well, I had all this happen. And I said, no, you've been victimized. You've taught yourself to be an ultimate victim. Victim is software coming from a programmer on the outside into a system that doesn't belong on that system. Okay. And that's what society is doing. It's the outside programmer you shouldn't allow in. You should think for yourself. Okay. This is the problem. And we have generation after generation after generation of people who are damaged goods, computers that need refixing, and nobody to teach them how to get out of it. This is why psychology is so important, to understand the truth of nature of reality. And reality is that your mind is your possession, yours alone. And whatever happens to you, how you respond to it, how you perceive it and understand it and deal with it, is still up to you.
Yeah.
And if you're not guided through the steps of that, you are going to be a malfunctioning person the rest of your life. And that's where victimization comes in.
Yeah. Okay? And we are kind of malfunctioning anyway, because we should have full memory of all our past lives. We should be much more fully aware than we are. Yeah. When I started going out of body, I got a real shock when I would go visit people in my own family on the other side. And they were fully conscious. They were absolutely aware of what they were doing, but could not bring it down to the third dimension. Right. There was a misconnection there, a disconnect. And it was so puzzling, because I would talk to them. I'm like, we're out of body right now. They're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, but I'm not going to remember it, they would tell me. I would get in fights with them over this. Yeah. And of course, when I wake up and I'd ask them, any dreams? Do you remember what you dreamt last night, what you were doing? Because I did. They did not remember, but they were conscious. They were awake.
Consciousness.
This is what
they were in consciousness. Yeah. You were talking directly to the consciousness, not the physical mind, but the consciousness itself.
Right. And this is where they're compartmentalized. So that's where this conception of subconscious comes from. It's not subconscious. It's part of your consciousness. It's just blocked.
Yeah. Right. I agree. And it's sad, because the pandemic was a great example of trust the science. We were all told, trust the science. And I think we all learned a very good lesson. And science says that there's scientific evidence supporting the existence of the subconscious mind, and that research in psychology and neuroscience has shown us that all of our mental processes occur below, what they're saying is below conscious awareness. Maybe they've just got it convoluted, Maybe it's exactly
You want to know what it is? It's a mafia. It's a bunch of people who are smarter than they need to be, seriously, because they believe their own BS, and they know that to control you, there has to be a certain set of circumstances or parameters of evidential. We show them this, they're going to believe it. Science is control. Okay, science is no longer practiced as science used to be practiced. All scientists would go before a board of their peers. They would deliver their work and they would argue it with everybody in the community at the same time until they came to consensus over whether this was real or not. And then it would be written into the record because it was argued, proven, and established. Okay, science is no longer that. We have corporations writing checks to people to say, this is the science, and we all have to believe their BS. That is not true.
Yeah, and even peer review is no guarantee that they're coming up with something that's or scientifically sound. But yeah, here let's pop up this question from Wilder Stubbs. How do we unlock, or rather unblock, our consciousness?
Okay, it's not unblock, it's let it in, and that is to go within, to silence your physical mind and open yourself up to who you really are, to hear who you really are. And you'll hear your own voice come back at you. You'll see your own eye come back at you, your third eye. You'll see it. You'll know that you're connected. Have a conversation with yourself. You know, it's not wrong to talk to yourself sometimes. This is the one time.
Oh, I do it every day.
you have a conversation because you're being indwelled by yourself. The physical mind is only the car. You can't, I can tell my car what to do. I turn it on. I just brought it up, right? I can tell my car to run the windshield wipers. I flick the windshield wipers. I'm having a communication because I flick the windshield wipers on. Contact who you are and converse with yourself. Look and see what you're actually seeing out there. That's remote viewing. That's you going beyond who the physical is and seeing things as it really is. Reality is incredibly intense and beautiful, and you have every right to see it for what it really is.
Yeah, remove fear. Fear is often will stop people. They're like a little bit afraid.
Fear is the mind killer.
Going to be fine.
Yeah,
and really, it's all about intent. Intend to do it. Go for it. You can, whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve.
Yes.
Like Dolly said earlier, we're incredibly powerful beings.
Yeah.
We have all the power of the universe within us. And look how powerful the universe is. Look how powerful, Source is.
Yeah. This is your computer. This is your car. You program it for yourself. Don't think about what I have to do. Just do. That's the whole way.
And it's so sad because when I got my master's degree, I got such a respect for school back then, and we truly respected the scientific method, question, research, hypothesis, right? Experiment, data analysis, conclusion, stuff like that. And now, ever since, like I said, the past 5 years, all that just seems to go poof. And we don't trust it. And I love the fact that
two sets of organizations at work here. Okay.
Right.
We're no longer in a place where we get to talk to a real scientific community anymore. They are all hiding or they're bought off. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. We're serious. And some of them are starting to talk. The people who are spouting science to you now are oligarchy. They're they're insurance companies, they're medical associations, they're unions, they're this, they're that. You are not scientific. You don't have a right to do any of that. And then they blame people. Then it's like a double-edged. Gaslighting is one of the worst habits a human can do. You know that? You put a person in a position of authority and they're trying to do the right thing. And so they have at their disposal all the great people, all the great thinkers, all the real science, and they're working with that. And they get gaslit by the corporations and everybody else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you're wrong and we're right. No, you're not.
Now, Dolly, I know that you've Sorab. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. Sorab, Sorab asked, how can one attain telekinetic powers? Now, that could be a whole nother show, but I've seen people do it on YouTube. Who knows if it's real or not? Dolly, I'm sure you can do it. Preston, have you had any experience with telekinesis where you were actually able to move in this plane, not like while you were having?
Darn it! I was gonna say no.
Yeah,
I haven't.
no,
I haven't
that
been able to
doesn't
do that.
count.
It's funny because I was out of body once, and I'm like, because you can take classes on the other side, and I went to a class to learn telekinesis, and there was a group of people there, and we were all doing it, and I'm like, "Where's the teacher?" And they're all clustering around me because I got really good at it, and so I ended up teaching that class.
Oh wow!
And it's funny.
No, it has to be on this side of the
I'm
spectrum.
getting it because I'm lying in bed and I'm kind of coming back to the third dimension, and I'm still doing it. I'm like, okay, I'm this close to being awake now, and I wake up and I can feel it leave me. I'm like, darn it!
Darn it!
I was this close. I've certainly interviewed people who've had these kinds of experiences.
Yeah. How about you, Dolly?
To emotion.
Yeah.
It's emotion, and okay. We have morality. Our consciousness is always moral, and it's always in our heart. We're connected to our physical body through our hearts. The first electrical connection there is from the heart. That's the first chemical process, and so your consciousness is literally loaded in to that part of your body. That's why it's separate from the brain. It's the programmer is here in your chest, not here. Okay. So when you connect to go within, you're going within to go into who you really are, to go without. All right. High emotion causes telekinesis in very young people. Girls tend to be the ones that most able to have it happen to them, but boys are not exempt. They do it. Okay. And on a high level. Anytime that I had a serious telekinesis, I was either perturbed, I felt slighted, I was angry, or I wanted something so bad I could taste it. Okay. And I'm very strongly connected to those emotions mentally, but my poor heart would feel them too. Okay. Because I'm emotionally connected to myself. All right. Consciousness. And my consciousness would take over at that point, who I am in my chest. I would get a tight feeling in my chest. So I knew the process was coming from consciousness right away. But there was a couple of times where I didn't think about it. It just freaking happened. So I've tossed objects at people when I was mad at them or angry or wanted them away from me. Like I want you away from me, I can throw you across the room. Okay. If I want to get away from you, I can get away from you. I can do levitation and get up high and go away. Okay. If I want something, if I'm playing a game like I did when I was 2 with my mom, I went up into the top of a closet. I caused telekinesis. I put myself up in levitation. Levitation is telekinesis personal. You're teleconnecting your own body, not around you, but yourself. And I felt it happen. I actually felt the energy swarm me and throw me up. And it took me a while to realize, I got control over this. So by the time I hit 7, 8, I was able to connect to my own body and telekinetically, levitate up. I tried to teach my brother. It is very upsetting to other people when you got this ability. So I stopped doing it around people because it freaked them out.
Yeah, I'll bet. Isn't that what a lot of the poltergeist activity is?
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it can happen at times of great personal need.
Yes.
My sister-in-law was having a fight with someone, and he took a coin, a silver dollar, and threw it at her. And she put her hand out and said, no. This silver dollar turned a right turn and went into the wall and thunked into the wall.
Wow.
And there's countless stories. I saw another one not too long ago of 2 girls who went running outside because their father was doing the lawnmower or tractor rather, and it rolled over on top of them. These are little girls. They had to act right away. They did it without thinking and lifted it off of him.
I saw that video.
So this is absolutely something that can manifest when
Oliver.
Because this is how you unblock. You're not thinking about it.
Right.
You're letting the physical mind not think about it. Your consciousnness immediately takes over, and it gives you the physical ability to do it. It's crazy.
So we call this impossible when obviously it's not. There's the Eastern religions call these superhuman powers siddhis, siddhes, and there's immunity to fire. There's levitation. There's superhuman strength. There's invisibility. There's all of these abilities. And they're all essentially kind of the same thing.
Yeah, no. absolutely.
They are the same thing. Yeah. Like I'm a military brat, okay, and I've always been expected to pull my weight. All right. And over the years of my life, I've been called to do things that I needed more than I had. And I called upon my abilities in those moments to give more than I had. Okay. Sometimes to my chagrin, but yeah, I can do those kinds of things. And everybody's capable of it. And then I realized I woke up one day and realized, you know what? I need to have control over that. I need to not go farther than my physical body can take it. Okay. One of them, I'm going to tell you what happened on base one day. Okay. We're coming in and it was pouring rain. It was flooding. And the door to the TMP was swollen shut and had a metal plate on the outside of it. And none of the guys could kick it in. We had it turned. It was open. It just wouldn't jam. And I'm standing there shivering and I have to use the bathroom really bad. I'm the only girl in the group. And I'm looking at them and while they're doing their guy thing, you know, hey, and I just said, move. I went, okay. And I walked up to that door and on one punch, boom, and it slammed open and cracked. And they all went, oh, jeez. And I walked in and went to the can. Okay. When I came back up,
there's your lesson. Wait till you have to go to the bathroom really bad. But no, I mean, I'm being joking, but there's another incident I know of because I did this whole episode on can humans walk on water, which it turns out Jesus was not the only one who did this. There's a long list. There's this one kid in Russia who woke up, saw a ghost next to his bed, completely terrified him. He ran out of the house and across this river and got to the other side. He was very wealthy and the servants were running after him. He came to the river. He was completely dry on the other side. They could not believe he crossed this river. He did it out of pure need, fear,
absolutely. Absolutely. I had a freaky thing like that happen to me years ago. This is before cars had key fobs and you had to use an actual key. My husband locked the car keys in the car and we went to pick my daughter up at a snowy mountain. She was snowboarding and the car doors were locked because we had all gotten out of the car to get her. And when I got back to the car, everybody was panicking. And then all of a sudden, I just felt like this burst of energy. And I said to my husband, try the car doors. He's like, I just tried them 8 times and they opened. And I think that my fear.
You open that lock. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would call that fear. I would call that, I'm getting in it right now. That's I'm going to do this. And you did it, you know?
Yeah, it was
leaving my kid in the car. No.
Yeah,
here's a good example from Sarab. When I'm trying hard to go out of the body, I'm not able to do it. It happens when I'm relaxing and not thinking about it. Well, that's exactly the point here.
Yeah. Let go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
So let me ask you guys, with the remaining time, would you like to do a little testy poo or something? Maybe we could have some fun and you guys can kind of, I don't know, guide us towards a remote session. Who wants to be the, do you want me to be the, what's it called? Person that does.
You want to be, I want everybody in this room to be a receiver. I want everybody to get a piece of paper and a pencil right now. You too, Marianne. Caroline.
Oh, you want me to?
Everybody. Yeah. Preston too.
Me?
Everybody get it. Yes. Everybody get a piece of paper and a pencil. Preferably a pencil. If you only got a pen, get a pen. Okay.
Got one.
Okay. Now this is going to be a shape that has a color.
Shape that has a color.
Right. And I'm going to look at it and I'm going to send. Okay. So hold on. Let me get in the mood. Okay. I am sending.
Okay. Let's see a shape that has a color. For those folks that are listening, we're doing a remote session right now. You can partake at home as well if you want to do some remote viewing. I don't want people thinking we dropped off the air. So I already got my impression of what it might be. I see them coming in. Some answers coming in.
Okay, I'm not looking because I'm sending. I got
30
more seconds. I want to give everybody plenty of time.
Yep. It is a fun game, Carrie. It's really a nice skill to develop. I agree.
Okay, pencils down.
Hey.
All right, I'm going to show it to you. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to show you. It's see the oval? It's purple.
Oh,
I was absolutely wrong. I said orange.
I put red, blue.
You
red, blue, purple.
That's purple.
I had orange. I was absolutely wrong. Anybody
Did you do the shape of it?
Did anybody say
I was
oval?
thinking circle. Someone there got purple. I saw someone say pink circle, car fast. That's pretty darn good.
Oh yeah, we have a blue star too. I mean,
purple hexagon.
Close. You saw purple. That's good. I was thinking about the hexagon earlier. You might have caught that. So,
well, in all fairness,
I think I fell to an overlay.
I think too, in all fairness, the important part that we can't really do here is the meditation and the grounding part.
Right.
And I think
that's to jump in. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
When we did the CE5s, everybody, we all came into an area, sat down on chairs or picnic tables, whatever, and we circled ourselves up. And we always had 5 targets in envelopes, and they weren't numbers. We had a picture of something, somebody drew something, put it in the envelope. We had 5 from 5 different people in the group, okay? And we gave everybody 20 minutes to get quiet, meditate, get in the state of mind, get themselves ready. And then number 1 would come up. Now, they would never, ever, ever let me be the sender. They always had another person be the sender because they wanted to see how good I was, okay?
Yeah.
And it was almost a competition with that. And so we get in there and we would take 10 minutes to receive the picture. And I expected everybody to draw a picture of what it was that was in the envelope, okay?
Yeah.
Anything they saw, they put it down as hard as they could. And you got 5 whole minutes to do that, 5 or 10. Some people would put their hand up and say, I'm not quite ready yet. We'd give them the extended time. Because we had all night, we slept there, okay? And you can't even imagine the stuff that would shock me, because this was just something we did out of the blue the first time, and we had a 90% accuracy rate of 15 of our people. We had 30 there. Out of 30 people, 15 had 90% accuracy. That freaked me out. I was like, wow, okay? Every CE5 we had at Deer Lake after that, we planned, that was part of our fun. We had our remote viewing, and it got better and better and better and better. And then we started pushing ourselves to do other things like music, think of a song, hear a song in your mind, and have everybody say what they think they hear. I mean, it's amazing what you can do, but it's practice, practice, practice. Don't ever let it stop you. Keep trying, Yeah,
it's funny. We watch Jeopardy, and those are hard questions. And sometimes the answer will just come to me, and I don't know this stuff.
He does it a lot. Yeah. A lot. I'll be sitting there and he'll go boom, and it's like, whoop, that's it. And we both knew we didn't know the bloody answer.
Yeah,
so, wow.
We'll give each other a high five when we do it, because it's funny as heck. It's so amazing.
Like,
there's just off the wall things. I know nothing about opera and sports and stuff like this. So when I did it, I'm like, where the heck did that come from?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Yeah, I that is crazy. I found a suggested remote viewing training procedure on CIA.gov website.
Really?
Oh God.
Okay.
All right.
This is an actual unclassified PDF right from CIA.gov.
Okay.
I don't trust the CIA.
What does that tell you?
They make me nervous.
Yeah, they make me nervous too. But this is trippy. I mean, this is unclassified, probably a FOIA request from a while ago.
Remember that movie that came out, Men That Stare at Goats?
Yeah.
The fictionalization.
That was so good.
It was a good movie, George Clooney. It was definitely a funny movie worth watching.
I mean, look at this, guys. This is some crazy stuff. for those people listening, this is an actual.
Don't go for that. You know who I would suggest you read is Russell Tard. Okay. He is the expert. He is the one that developed all the programs for the CIA. I wouldn't trust that, but I would trust Russell Tard. Go read his stuff.
I'll take a look at it. Yeah.
It's important. He's very good at teaching it. Very good.
I mean, just the fact that the CIA has a training course on this is kind of
I bet they do, yeah.
I'm telling you, they're looking for remote viewers, and they have reason, you know?
Yeah.
They want anybody who's psychic. Any kind of psychic will take you. They look for children with psychic ability. They have talk to Katie Page about it. You should put her on your show about that. Bring up what she went through as a kid. We have a lot in common, she and I. And she's one of those kids that was identified as psychic, and they found out whether she could remote view or not, and she got the heck away from them. Talk to her.
Oh, good Lord.
I was at a CE5 group once, and we were doing a remote viewing exercise. There was something in a box, and we were all supposed to look at it. And I kept getting the weirdest image of a fruit roll-up with writing on it. It makes no sense, but this is what my mind kept seeing. And so I'm like, well, this is going to sound ridiculous, but I see, you know what a fruit roll-up is, right?
Oh, I love them. They're so good.
And they pulled it out, and it wasn't that. It was like a tiny little Bible, but it had been stained with wine. Purple wine.
Oh, that's trippy.
Pareidolia.
And I saw what I saw. What I was seeing in my mind was right there. But my own mind said this has got to be a fruit roll-up.
That's when you tell your physical mind to shut up. Pareidolia will fill in what you can't see.
Yes, yes.
Okay? That's why you keep telling your physical mind to go there. Shut up. Yeah.
This is how your belief system blinds you.
That's a great point to bring up, Preston, because it kind of ties into what I was talking about before when, my mind is always telling me things that are not true. And lots of times I'll just say, that's a lie. That's a lie. Especially when it's giving me negative thoughts. I always say, that's a lie. That's a lie. And I had to use that a lot after my husband passed away because I was getting bombarded with thoughts about suicide. And I never thought about that ever. And it was some type of outside force trying to get me to do something that was against my absolute nature.
When you're vulnerable, that's when dark spirits will.
Yeah. The word no is so important even in those times as well. You just say no. I get thee behind me. No.
Yes, exactly. I did all that. And finally, after it took a few months of every day me telling it to stop, this isn't me. And it would tell me how to do it, which is trippy. It was telling me this is how easy it is, Carol Ann. All you have to do is X, Y, and Z. And your kids will miss you for a little while, but don't worry. Your husband's gone. You have no reason to be here. Oh, I struggled for almost 8 months with that. And then after fighting it every day, it finally just went away. But that was not me.
Because
no, that wasn't you. You were bringing up spirit around you. You just tell it to shut up, or you're going to kick it into the universe. Yeah. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Get mad at it. There's no fear here. You tell it, shut the heck up now. Go away. And mean it.
Important story
I hear you no more. I'm not kidding you. You tell it no. Your consciousness has that kind of power. You can overpower any darkness like that. Turn the light on when you say it. I'm looking at the light. You want to come play with me now? Yeah. Go away. Get real with it.
Oh, it's awful. Yes. Awful. Yeah. What, Preston?
You are an autonomous being with incredible power. But I'm glad you brought that up because when you start becoming super empathetic, you start opening yourself up to psychic abilities. You start to have these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And don't worry about it. You're going to be fine. It gives you the opportunity to practice your personal power.
Right.
Yes.
To lead your pathway. No one else. You.
That's spot on, Preston, because it made me feel so empowered to know that wasn't me and that it was just my grief with some type of like you said, it was some type of entity that was preying upon my grief. And that's exactly
we live on a planet where there are a lot of people who die and they don't know they're dead and they get pissed off and they start picking on people. Okay.
It's unreal.
Yeah, I know. And you just have to tell them, go away or I'm going to drag you into light right now. You know,
Yeah,
if you can't figure it out, I will show you. Yeah.
Which I have done. I had an OBE not too long ago, and there was this little troll-like being. Yeah. And it was growling at me from behind me. I whirled around and I grabbed that guy and I'm like, oh my God, look at this. And I pulled him up into the light real quick. You know, because
was that the one that grabbed your ankles, or is that a different one?
No, that's a completely different one.
It's different, yeah.
This one just happened. But now, you know, I've gotten a lot better at confronting these lower realm spirits. Yeah. No, don't mess with me. I will show you the light.
Yeah.
We can all do this.
Yeah. You lost. It's okay. I help you find your way. No problem. Yeah.
This is what we should, I think is a really good viewpoint whenever we're going through something that's difficult. Don't look at it as like, oh, poor me. You know, my life is so hard. This is an opportunity for you. This was something that was given to you. It's a gift. It's something wonderful because it will give you the opportunity to move through it and be stronger for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we have the ability to help each other here, but we have the ability to help each other on the other side as well.
Oh, I love that.
Anytime you walk into something that negative and you can help it get out of the where it's at on the other side, you take that opportunity and help it because you're clearing around us when you do that. Imagine how many people are listening to negative entities walking around them all the time and they don't even know they're there, but they psychically hear it. Their consciousness, it's like a battle going on.
Yeah.
Just go away. I will show you how to get out of here. Okay. It's not a problem. You know?
And you can do it.
Absolutely. Did you guys, before we wrap things up, did you see any questions in there? Here's one from, hey, Billy Herb. I saw you earlier. So awesome. How do you drag an entity into the light, like a visual exercise? Preston, I guess that.
No, I wouldn't call it a visual exercise. It was an absolute confrontation.
Hands-on, baby. Yeah.
See, when you go out of body, the natural environment is to go to the other side because that's kind of your home.
Yeah.
So once you do that a number of times, you know how to get there very easily.
Right.
And so this is where, you know, people who are earthbound for whatever reason, and there's a million of them, whether it's addicted to drugs or you're just depressed or you don't know you're dead or whatever reason, will cling to that. So if I've tried to bring people over to the other side and they wouldn't go. They were too depressed. They wanted to stay where they were. They didn't want to.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah. I want to answer that question.
Yeah.
All right. Sound frequencies. All right. Your brain is alpha, beta, theta, gamma, delta. Those are the 5 primary frequencies that you emit. The Eastern people who learn to meditate, transcendental meditation, Hare Krishnas, all those guys learned that there are certain frequencies that put you, your brain waves, your physical mind brain waves, into a state that banks down thought, that shuts it down thinking. Okay. Theta is a higher thinking frequency. You don't want to go to theta because it's where you're thinking all the time. Yeah. Alpha is the one, and it's usually A minor, E minor. So if you have a brass bowl, and it's tuned to the frequency of E minor or A minor, you can teach yourself that to go into that frequency. But your frequency, the frequency of your own mind, is already your safe space. So you only need to hear you. Your frequency is the one you want to attach to anyway. If you're listening to frequencies that everywhere else you're doing nothing, you're not really connecting. You're just going null. Okay.
Yeah.
So you really need to hear yourself. That's what I'm telling you. You don't need the crutch of a frequency to hear yourself.
Yeah, you can do the Om meditation.
Yeah, which is A minor, E minor. Yeah.
Or I am. That's a good one too. We kind of talked about this before. Maybe Preston, you want to reiterate?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Sora BH, how to let go when trying to go astral. The mind gets in the way. How to fix that? Practice. That's one thing. Don't give up. This is something that does take a lot of time. And ultimately, it is about letting go. And it's funny because Dolly's like, just let go. And I finally sunk into me once because she can do it almost at will. And I'm getting that close to it where I can now just lie down. And I know it sounds like, well, let go. That's like saying, you've got PTSD, just let it go.
Yeah.
It's not quite that simple, obviously. But in a way it is. It's kind of like overcoming an addiction. You make the decision, you're not doing that anymore. Right. So it's a mixture of intending, desiring, imagination, willpower. Wrap it all together. I really succeeded at doing OBEs when I started going to bed at night, and right before bed, I would read about OBEs so I could focus on that.
That's
I absolutely obsessed myself with it. I put all effort into it. This was my top priority. We have multiple priorities. We all do. So if you want to up that on your priority list, that will help as well.
Yeah, I
also,
love that.
Overcoming, if you have things you procrastinated, that's stealing consciousness. If you have phobias, you go ahead and face them. Get rid of them. That is stealing your consciousness. If you have goals that you have not achieved, go achieve them. Do it. Get it out of the way.
Exactly.
All of this stuff, because life is great, but when you start having OBEs, everything pales in comparison.
I know. You just learned to living your life, but you've got the excitement. Like it's like I'm not going to bed to sleep. I'm going to bed to explore. Okay, this is my time. I'm out. That's fun.
Yeah. So just really give it high priority and don't give up and really learn to relax.
I love that. Now, with dreaming while fat. Oh, that's hysterical. Am I reading that right? Yeah. Asked when you die, how do you know you're dead? Now that's like a really profound question, and I don't think anybody can answer that. But do either one of you want to take a whirl at it?
Absolutely, Silk and Preston. I want to go first. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm taking the lead this time. Thank you. If you're in an accident and you tragically die suddenly, most people pop out and they see their body and it's very emotional and they know they're dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Evidence right there. Then there are people who will pass away in their sleep suddenly without any warning, and it's not tragic, and they are confused at first. It's like, what the heck's going on? They won't necessarily see their body. And if they have not finished everything they wanted to do in life, they're going to keep trying to be in life. And so they blot out the fact that there's a body laying there, and they go away from it. And they keep wandering around going, how the heck did I get here? Why can't anybody see me? And it becomes a very emotional thing for them until somebody leads them into the reality that your body left, you're gone from it, and you need to move on. Some people will fight you for it because they still want to be alive. That's the thirst for life that can delude you into not knowing you're dead. It can delude you into seeing anybody else who is dead as well. There'll be spirits around you, and you'll be so self-absorbed in what you're about that you won't see any reality at all. And that's the most tragic of everybody.
Yeah, hungry ghosts.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I think that if you're watching this show, you don't have to worry. Just knowledge of life after death is almost a guarantee that you're going to know.
You're going to know. That's right.
Where the problem comes in is for people who are profoundly addicted, profoundly evil, or profoundly skeptical of life after death, and suddenly find themselves dead and never even consider the possibility, because there's no such thing as life after death. They couldn't be dead because they're alive. So that's the real problem.
Yeah.
So don't worry too much about it. But you can it'll look slightly glowy. You have the ability to levitate. Things will be different.
Everything more intense. I want to tell you a secret about existence. We've got a society that has death colored in many different ways. Some of them are horrific, grotesque. Some of them are peaceful. Some of them are religious. Everybody has a different take on what death is, but not everybody plans their life knowing that there's a last day and plan to be ready for that last day. Yeah. Okay. That doesn't mean having a will. It means being prepared yourself for that last day, that you shouldn't go through life not admitting that there's an end date for you.
Consider the fact that you have a terminal illness, life.
Yeah.
You're terminal.
Yeah.
Well, how many days do you have left?
Yeah.
That's right.
So live your life every day while you can, and be prepared for the day that you're not, and know that you are going to live past that day, and that you got somewhere to go, and there are people waiting for you. Look for the good things. Look for the happy things.
Death. It might be an unpleasant process, but if you learn to go OBE, you will be so excited to learn what's on the other side. It's so beautiful.
Right.
And it's funny because you think, well, that makes me want to go there sooner. Weirdly not. No, you start to realize the absolute value of life on Earth and how precious a gift that is.
Yeah.
Preston, I have a question. Well, for either one of you. The other night, I was definitely out of body, and I was getting close to waking up in the morning, and I heard like myself tell myself, "You are not going to remember this." Why is that? Like, why do I distinctly remember hearing? Because I was so anxious about remembering the experience, and I was like given a command: you will not remember this.
You gave the answer. You answered yourself. I was so anxious about it that you heard that voice. Shut your brain off. Tell yourself, stop it. Say no. Quit telling me what to do. I'm okay. You're not. Apparently,
humans
Shut
are
up.
self-defeating. They walk through like, I can't do that. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, yeah. So
be done with it.
You hear that? Please allow yourself the opposite.
Yeah, anxiety is not.
I can't do that. I'm not scared.
Talking to self the wrong way. Do not talk to yourself like that anymore. Stop it.
But I didn't do it intentionally, Dolly. It was just like right before I opened my eyes.
It's a habit that you have to break. Okay.
Learn to talk to yourself.
Break the habit. So you build the new habit, so the old habit goes away.
Yeah.
Tell yourself
instead of saying, don't say I'm not afraid. Say I have courage.
I have courage. Yeah.
Don't say, I can't do that. Say you can do that.
Yeah. Anxiety doesn't belong on anybody.
So I should have said I will remember this next time, or counteract it.
Override your anxiety, because anxiety is taking you down. It's a habitual anxiety that you're feeling in your physical mind.
But there's an important distinction here. Don't say I have no fear. Say I have courage.
Yeah. So I like that.
Do you see the difference between those two?
Absolutely.
One is pure positive. The other is halfway there.
Right.
But it's still negative.
Absolutely. And I just have to say, I love this comment from One Day Better. She spelled universe with a U, and that is so darn cute.
That's cute. Yeah, I like that.
Because it really is the universe. Never seen
that before. That's amazing.
I know, me either. I love that. I love that. Wow. And I believe, I know it could be a he. I'm not sure. I'm going to say they. They said the universe wants you to succeed, but it's also not just going to hand it to you. It wants you to make sure you are serious with your intentions. I love that.
Wow. Yeah. Can I use that One Day Better? Can I borrow that word?
I know. Isn't that awesome?
I love that.
It's also a double-edged sword. I want you to see the flip side of that, okay? Please. I want you to understand something. All parents want all good things for their children. They want them to learn to take care of themselves so that when they're not with them anymore, they can move through life and be okay, right? And once they're on the other side, they intend good things for them. They watch over them. They will whisper to them. They will come and speak to you. That's the universe, all mind. All of us are in that universe together, and we're all wishing those things for each other. Now, here's the thing. The universe has 3 precepts that you need to understand before you start thinking that way, all right? Number 1, you need to learn to know all that is knowable, okay? Then proceed. The second thing you must learn, the second precept about life is that for every action, there is an equal or opposite reaction. That's the second precept. And the third precept is don't ask for what you're not ready to gain.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's where we don't blame anybody but ourselves, okay? You can't blame the universe. The universe has no control over you in that way. The universe is not going to hand you anything because you've already asked for it. It's already ready to give it to you, but you're the one who has to be ready to receive it. You're the one that has to employ it once you got it. You know, I can get a brand new bicycle, and if I don't know how to ride the bloody thing, I'm not going to ride it. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I crash while I'm trying to learn on my own, I'm an idiot, right? That's the very simple.
If you ask for patience, the universe is not going to hand you patience.
No,
it's going to hand you a situation which demands patience.
Right.
If you ask for strength, it's not going to give you strength. It's going to put you in a situation where you have to draw on your own strength.
Right. You're just as powerful as everything in the universe you are. Okay. And we need to learn to depend on ourselves. That's what a parent wants to happen. The universe is our parent. It wants us to depend on ourselves. It wants us to utilize our abilities, our power.
Yeah. And you're embraced.
And I like that. That's so well said.
Think about that. We are an integral part of the universe. How cool is that? What an amazing, unbelievable gift it is to have awareness and consciousness and a life. You can meditate on that for infinity.
Yeah.
You certainly can. You certainly can. Let me ask you one question before we end this. Does time behave differently during remote viewing? Because we all know that time is a construct, but does time come into play while you're remote viewing?
No, you have no concept of time whatsoever. None. Zero. As a matter of fact, you can be remote viewing for hours and hours and hours and have no concept of what that amount of time is. It's surprising sometimes. People will wake up and go, dang, 5 minutes, but I felt like I was out there for
That's
eternity.
what I'm asking, Dolly.
There's
exactly
no
that.
concept of time. No concept. None. Zero.
Yeah.
You can learn to play with time. You know, when you're at work or at school and you're just waiting for that thing, the clock, you're playing with time there. When you're doing something you really enjoy, like I've only got 10 minutes to do this, let's go. How quickly time goes.
Yeah. Have you ever been in an accident where you perceive time to go real slow?
Oh my God, yeah. Absolutely.
Perception is everything.
Right.
And so if you train yourself to be a trained observer, you start to be able to really get the most out of every single moment.
Yeah.
There's so much, and each moment is infinite. There's this saying like, you will never reach your destination because each time you're halfway there, and then you're half of that distance, and half of that, and half of that.
That's exactly right.
On Small
Huh?
What? No, I was saying hello. I had Liebercast on my show once, and I love when he pops in. Bonsoir.
Me too.
Yes, he's
Good
great.
Evening to you all.
I'm going to definitely be emailing him to have him back. Anyway, okay, so is there, in closing, we'll go to you first, because I know you're probably writing a book or just wrote an update, a new edition, right, Preston? Something I heard. Talk about that, please.
Yeah, I'm still working on symmetry, and I'm about page 90 now, and I just need to do a few more interviews because
we're covering a lot. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
I'm so busy. I'm having a hard time finding the time to get it done.
Yeah.
But that is my high priority right now. Yeah. And just trying to keep my YouTube channel going, because that takes a lot of time as well.
It's a lot.
And the Lightgate, of course, which we're having fun with. And of course, doing wonderful podcasts like yours, Caroline, which the time goes fast. Did you notice? It goes,
yes.
We're playing. We're doing something.
Talk about time. Yeah, it's freaky. Because like I look up at the clock and I'm like, there's no way 2 hours just blew by. There's no way.
Yeah.
But crazy.
Time warp again. Yeah.
I also wanted to thank Ben again for that. So thank you so much. Every penny helps run the channel, as you all know, as you guys know very well. So that's greatly appreciated. What about you, Dolly? What you got going on? What you got cooking? I mean, I know you're working on the book with your hubba dubba over there, but anything else?
Basically, I'm working on doing what we did today. We're going to start throwing that into our channel. We're going to start giving master classes and stuff like that. I think it's important to put this stuff up for everybody in a positive way that they can attain it without worrying about how they're going to get it. Okay. that's a decision on our part, and so we're going to see how that plots. And so I'm putting down the structure of what it's going to be and how long it would take and how interactive we want it to be and stuff like that.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Yes.
So you're going to do like remote viewing and classes on out-of-body stuff.
And
wow, that's going to be a blast.
And all of that. Yeah. And then I'm going to teach a little bit of what I learned from ET, because all your ability is nothing without wisdom. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wisdom plays into this largely, and how wise you are depends on how well you operate psychically. So I'm going to teach a few classes on how to gain wisdom. It's not that hard. And there's no mumbo jumbo. I'm not a guru. I am not a spiritual leader in any way. Disclaimer right now. Don't even go there with me. I'm just as fallible and as you are. Okay. The only difference from me and you is I'm a little bit more advanced. That's it. And so I'm going to take what I understand and what I know and teach. And hopefully you'll take that and go learn more on your own and prove it to yourself. That's what I'm going to do. And I think that an open forum is the best way to go with that. It gives everybody a chance.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to invite you guys back next month. We're going to have to talk about something else that's wonderful and mystical.
Okay. That'd be good. There's all kinds of cool things to do. I know. I was looking, Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse is ramping again. And it goes back and forth. And everybody's talking about, they think it's 100,000 years before it's going to blow, because they can tell what kind of fuel it's burning and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I go and look at it every now and then, and I'm like, because this thing is like real close. And I keep hoping that we all get to see this in our lifetime. And so things like that. I want to talk about the, astronomical things on our channel sometimes. And
is it supposed to like supernova or something?
Yeah, it's heading toward a supernova. It was a red dwarf, and it's actually gone down to a certain type of hydrogen fuel it's burning now, which means it's used up its primary fuel, and now it's created a new fuel for itself, and it's getting ready to go into the exo part of its death till it dwindles down into a its own type of singularity, and it goes. And I'm excited about it. You know
what I want to talk about? Precognition.
Love that.
Dreams that come true.
Oh my God, that's a great topic. That's next time. We can do a mix, Dolly. We can do a mix.
Yeah.
There's plenty to talk about.
Thank you both. I love you both dearly.
Love you too, Caroline.
Thank you so much.
You're a treasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've heard about Fair Play. You're coming on our show not too far in the near future also, right?
Oh, fun.
Okay.
Fun.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, everyone in the chat. I love you dearly. Heidi, I'm so glad you're doing well, and I will catch up with you later. Thank you all again so much. You guys rock in the chat. While you're here, please, if you're in YouTube, give us a thumbs up and a subscribe. We greatly appreciate that as well. Both channels, to your channel, your guys' channel as well. It's always appreciated when you do that. Have a safe and blessed, wonderful rest of the week and upcoming weekend. And I will see you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, they are like the best. That's all I have to say. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. And of course, you've been listening to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. And we are live on United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I think I say that in my sleep, which is great. As we come to the end of this conversation, what remains is not just an understanding of how remote viewing works, but a deeper question about the nature of consciousness itself. I surely learned a thing or two. I want to sincerely thank Preston and Dolly for sharing their insight, experience, and clarity, and for approaching this subject with both discipline and depth, and of course, their real world and real life experience. Their work invites us to look beyond assumptions and consider a reality that might not be so far interconnected than we're accustomed to believing. So I hope everyone can learn a valuable lesson today. Start doing some remote viewing. I'm going to do it with the mail. I'm going to do it with the phone, continue doing it. there's a lot of little tips and tricks that we learned today as well. So God bless each and every one of you. See you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.